Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. There you go. Hello, and welcome to our second ever live stream Right Together. I am Gail Hendricks, and I'm here basically in the house like everyone else is through the pandemic. And we're going to get writing shortly for anyone just now tuning in. Basically, for anybody who's never done a Right Together live stream or is just curious about what we're doing today, we're kind of trying to just sit down and write a little bit. We're going to have 2 hours where I'll break it up into writing sprints where I'll time everyone. I'll give maybe 15, 20 minutes depending on how we're feeling. And then we'll just write as much as we can. We're looking for a very relaxed sort of atmosphere today, and as you can see, we stand a little Halloween. So I've got all the Halloween decor up, and so if there's music that you want to play in the background, I'll have a little bit of music playing in my background. This is purely for just sitting down and relaxing and really just taking a nice deep breath and writing out. Sometimes that's all we need is just a little time to sit down and have that quiet moment. And I'm kind of hoping that the live stream might become something that everyone or anyone who's wanting to write can just come in and relax a little bit and take a deep breath and just really get into the writing, get into the world that they're creating. This it's geared more towards writers here, but I have had people come in and just do other tasks, or if they just want the nice quiet time to do other you know kind of art type things or do other creative tasks. So if that's what you're looking for, that's what we're here to do today. I'm glad to see everybody back, and we're going to go ahead and get started in just a few minutes. I'll put up some writing prompts if that's what you're interested in. We're focusing a little bit on PREPTOBER today, which, if you're not familiar with what PREPTOBER is, that is October, which is the month before NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. I didn't know National Novel Writing Month existed 5 years ago. I didn't know there was such a thing. And I participated last year. I did not complete it. I'm still working on the manuscript that I started last year, and I'm in the editing phase of that. But I wrote it very quickly, and I wanted to go back and really flesh out the world and the characters a little bit more to make them much more solid. And that's kind of what my task has been for part of Preptober. Some people may be in different places. If you plan on participating, even if you don't plan on participating today or this year for Nano, some people are not. Some people have had enough being. It's very time consuming and it's a very solitary sometimes effort. And I think the last couple of years have made that even more difficult for some people, and that's okay. I understand that. I work from home too at this point, so but hopefully maybe we can ease some of that tension and kind of write together, and you can have a community of people to come and enjoy, just kind of quiet time with and write. But if you're not familiar with NaNoWriMo, I suggest you go check it out. You can literally just type it into Google and it will pop up. National Novel Writing Month. You can sign up. It is 50,000 words in a month, which is considered winning NaNoWriMo. Unless you're the kind of person that can sit down and crack out, 1,000 words an hour or something like that. At the very end, it's best to go at a slow and steady pace. At least for me, it is. Some people get really inspired like that. I'm much more write, think, write, think. And I think we have someone joining us in today. Hi, Devin. How are you? Hopefully, we were just talking a little bit about NaNoWriMo and kind of what that is. I'm glad to see someone here. You've won Nano 3 times. I've only done it once. I've this year I wrote last year, and this year I'm just kind of editing what I wrote last year. I got kind of caught up in some career type things, and I haven't had a chance to fully flesh out what I wanted to do, even though I hit that 50K mark there. Um, what kind of what kind of things do you like to write? I'm more of a fantasy, sci-fi, and urban fantasy kind of person, but everybody differs from from everything. So I like a little bit of everything, to be honest with you, except for maybe straight romance. Like as far as like fully romance novels, I like a little bit of everything in my romance novels, and not just solely romance. But um, and I enjoy, like, anybody who wants to come and write whatever genre they want to write can join us. I'll have some prompts up. Are you participating this year as well? Some people are not. So um, some people are not participating this year, and with everything kind of being closed in this year. Again, it's I can see why they might want to get out a little bit more. So I'll be participating, just not necessarily the traditional way. But we're going to. Oh, nice. First published story was YA contemporary. Very nice. I'm hopefully going to be querying at the end of this year with the novel that I wrote for last year. It's congratulations on publishing. It's something that's so hard to do. Sometimes traditional publishing, I feel like, is difficult, and then if you're self-published too, that marketing your book is very difficult, I've heard. But it sounds like it was really good though. And I don't necessarily want people like putting the links to their books in their chat, because just in case not too much advertisement. But if you have a link that goes to your website, you can link that here as well. Um, yeah, I think a lot of people are falling into that boat as far as being undecided for Nano this year. What makes you? Is it just being? We've all been kind of shut in for a couple of years. Is it that sort of thing, or it's a solo sort of thing, or is it just a time issue? Do you think? And while you're answering that, I am going to pull up our prompts. I have a couple of prompts. Like if you were looking for something new to work on, I have those. You can work on those. Or if you decide that you want to do something else, or you have your own project, I'm working on my own editing during this time. But if you like the prompts, feel free to go with them. I'll just post them at the beginning of every sprint. It's something different for people coming in and out. Um, but let me know. Uh, Let me know what kind of how you're feeling about Nano. And let me get those prompts up. I love that my computer is just a little bit old. I think I'll be looking to invest in another computer eventually, but for right now, she'll have to do. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I completely 100% get that. I was laid off for several months as well, and life has just been thrown into chaos with that. And that's fine. It's hard to do that, and that's kind of why I wanted to do the live stream, and just kind of have a time set aside to sit down and be very calm. Um, and even if you only get a couple of words, that's still more than what you had before. And I'm very much the optimist uh, when it comes to that. Oh, I think I might have frozen just a smidge. I do apologize for that. Um, I'm very much the optimist when it comes to that sort of thing. So even if you just get down a few words and you have that quiet time to really do what you wanted to do, did you have a specific project that you wanted to work on today, or are you just coming to check out the stream? see if I can get those prompts up. My computer did freeze just a little bit. I am in the works of getting a new one eventually, but that's a little bit ways down the road. But let me see if I can get this prompt up for us. Usually working on multiple projects at the same time. I have I Oh, hey, Izzy, how's it going? Um, are you working on your outline for Nano? Oh gosh, you're halfway done. You're further along than I am in my new project. I do the same thing as well, Dev, and I kind of work on multiple projects at the same time, and I'm bad about it. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Sometimes you just need another project to kind of clear your head and make things a little bit easier for another one. Um, and I think that's totally fine if you go back and forth. Some people say, no, don't do that. I'm like, sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes I come back to a project after maybe a couple of weeks and I'm like, you know what? I feel better about it. I feel more confident in what I've written here. And, I want to move forward with this. Or I've had a new idea that makes this character so much more relatable and better. So I don't think there's anything wrong with swapping back and forth between the two. Um, yeah, you get bored or the story just kind of fades out. Hmm. And Izzy, what did you have a genre? I can't speak today. Genre that you were going to do for Nano? Your outline. What kind of outline is it? You don't have to tell us if you don't want to, but as you know, as the ever curious writer, I'm curious to know. And that is slowly pulling up. There we go. Oh, nice. So it's just a kind of a general fantasy. The snowflake outline I get very lost in. I have to I have to do scene cards. The snowflake tends to I get so lost and busy in it. But some people have that mind; they can just map it out, which I find incredible. um, I'm definitely maybe slightly a bit of a pantser on that. I probably shouldn't be. um, but I'm going to, since I finally got our first prompt to come up, um, I'm going to go ahead and post our first prompt, and then I'll put some maybe 15 minutes on the timer. And this will just be, we'll just take a nice deep breath and just really kind of bring it in and pull up our works. And if you have something specific that you're working on, you can work on that. If you want to use the prompt, you can. They're totally interchangeable. I used a random generator. So, feel free to change it up. These are just something to kind of get anybody who's coming in to kind of get their mind working a little bit and think about, plotting ideas and things like that. And if you're already working on an outline, go for it. I'll be outlining a little bit today too, as well as working on character backstory. Um, and yeah, scene by scene outlines. Me too, Devin. That's kind of I have to go scene by scene, or I get completely lost in the mix on what I'm doing. Absolutely. So let me get us, if you guys are ready, we'll just take a nice deep breath and let in all the good ideas and let out all of the negativity and all the things that are telling us that we are not good writers, because we are excellent writers. And what we do is we write. And let me get our clock up and set for, let's start out with 10 minutes. Let's do like a warm up here. Um, And I'll post this prompt, and that should pop up now. And then I'm going to start us on 10 minutes through the phone, and we'll get started, guys. And remember, it's not about how many words you get down. Just get down what you can. And if you're outlining and you only get a couple bullet points in, then that's fine too. We're just here to take a nice deep breath and relax. And I'll also put on a little bit of background music if you guys want. You gotta let me know, and I'll put a little bit of background music in the back. I prefer kind of something soft, but if you guys like something different, sometimes I do epic music too. So you just gotta let me know if you want some background music, and I'll pull it up. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start in for 10 minutes now. You'll have to let me know if that's too loud for the music. That was the end of our first 10-minute writing sprint. Um, kind of come back for just a moment, and if you liked the prompt, I can leave that one up there, or I can post another one. But it sounds like for right now, everybody kind of has their project that they're working on. I got maybe about 150 words in, so it wasn't too bad. If you're still with us and the music was too loud, let me know if the music was too loud, and I can always turn it down. Or if I need to turn it up, tell me and I'll turn it up. Or if you want some sort of different kind of music in between, just let me know, and we can get that fixed. So it's kind of this space for you guys to come in and write and enjoy it and relax a little bit. How do you guys think you did? Did you get a chance to kind of dig in a little bit? Do we want to go for a longer sprint? Um, Let me know in the chat, and I'll post up our next prompt. I'll get our next prompt ready for anybody else who might be joining us. I don't know. And while I've was writing, and this is kind of more of a more of just a kind of a quiet writing time. But I also think about the books that I like to read and write. I got really into. I traveled a lot before the pandemic, and I got really into audiobooks. I don't know. I used to prefer, paper books, and now with everything, traveling so much like I did before, I got really into audiobooks. And if you have a preference, let me know in the chat. I kind of like both now. I'm a collector of paper books and a lover of audiobooks as well. But I don't think it matters what format. Um, have any of your works been put to audiobook, Devin? Yeah, the ebooks are really nice. Um, I don't do a lot as much reading on my computer, but I do a lot on my phone, which can be really helpful, like on a plane or something like that. I've lost books on planes before. Uh, you like the ebooks as well? Yeah, you don't have to worry about losing it. It's all right there, and you have multiple books in case you want to flip back and forth between one or the other. Um, I will say I've been, before everything, I went on, I was lucky enough and I got to go on a vacation, and I just brought all of these books, and we went on a cruise, and we were in the middle of the ocean. I did like the paper books then because there wasn't any glare. But the ebooks are really nice, and they're easy, and you can actually bookmark a little bit easier and highlight, which I like a little bit better. I like those quite a bit. And I've got our next prompt ready. So if you guys are ready to dig in, um, I'll go ahead and start our next timer. Let's go for a little bit of a longer time. Um, I'm thinking maybe let's go maybe 15 minutes and see what we can get into and dig into. And let me know if there's things that you think I can improve on with the stream, or if you enjoyed it. Um, I'll be continuing to do this, or if you think it's good, or what you think and enjoy about it, or what you think could really help make it better. I always need the extra feedback, um, and and that's always a good thing for me. Um, I know my current project. I wrote it before I did scene to scene planning back in last November. And yeah, physical books do take up a lot of space, um, as my poor library in the back behind me can attest to. Um, and but if there's anything I can improve on, let me know. And really could enjoy. Back before I started this project that I'm working on now, I didn't really do a scene to scene sort of thing, and I realized that's the best way for me to go. Um, but I really wanted to focus on making sure the internal conflict I had with my character really, really conflicted with the external conflict that was going on. I don't know if anybody else has that problem. There's a lot of great tools to help with that. I've seen a couple of scene cards, and I use a couple of scene cards um, to make sure that my internal conflict and my external conflict are constantly a very driving force in my story. So if you're interested in seeing some of those, I can definitely pull them up, the ones that I've used before. Um, so if that's something that you need, but it sounds like you guys are kind of a little bit further along than that, especially if, obviously I'm talking to someone who's published before, so, but that's kind of the way I have to do it for me. But let's see if we can go a little bit longer. I've got 15 minutes on our clock here, and I'll put the music back up and we'll start. And let me put that prompt back up there just in case anybody joins us and wants to do the prompt. And then we'll go from there. We'll get the juices flowing a little bit. And let me make sure I've got our music up. I can get to it. All right. So I've got 15 on the clock, and we're going to go ahead and start. And I'll try to give about a 5-minute warning when that 15 minutes is up. have about 30 seconds left, so get down, complete that thought. And that was 15 minutes. I did forget to give a 5-minute warning because I got really into the scene that I was writing for my character's backstory. Um, and I think it's a good thing to really get into what you're writing. Was anybody who was joining us, were you able to kind of get into that flow a little bit and sit down and enjoy the background music and get into that place where you were really getting some words on a page? How did that go for you guys? And while we're getting that ready, I'll pull up our next prompt. So if anybody joining us wants to take a look at a prompt, doesn't like any of the previous prompts, I'll have that for our next writing sprint. But how are we feeling? A little stuck? Need to do some thinking on the scenes you're planning? Okay, that happens. I totally understand that. I've gotten stuck like that where I just didn't quite know where to go with the scene. Um, and of course, you're doing the snowflake method too. Um, is there a scene that you could do that instead of being stuck, maybe do a different scene? Maybe try something a little bit different, and then it might open up that scene a little bit more that you need to work on. Um, sometimes that works for me. It doesn't always work. Uh, um, Sometimes that's just how I get around writer's block. Sometimes is just to go work on a different scene. Maybe it's not related to the actual thing that you're working on, or maybe it's more background related, and then it kind of helps me move on a little bit. Um, I got kind of stuck with that with the current project that I'm writing on, where um, I had this really great character, but I really wanted to build a world to really make her shine, and that took so much effort because I didn't know. I wanted this character to have a really great story and be multiple books long, um, but I couldn't continue with the story until I really built up the world a little bit more. Um, but I also tend to just like world building a little bit better sometimes than plot forward things. It's a little bit of a trap for me, but sometimes it works to do that. But no frustration if you're feeling stuck. That's okay. That's kind of just how the creative process goes sometimes. Um, Maybe and it's okay if you're not writing during the writing sprint. Sometimes you just close your eyes and kind of envision what you want to see, or if you don't know, let your mind wander. um, I don't know if anybody else does that. I do. uh, I'm maybe slightly ADHD when it comes to that. My mind will wander sometimes. um, your stories take place in the real world. That makes it a little bit easier, I think, in some ways. I heard a lot of people, a lot of writers actually asking, people who are writing in the real world. Um, mine's an urban fantasy, so it has both elements of the real world and, fantastical elements that aren't quite the underlayer of the world around them, and the magical portions of that are what I really needed to focus on. But I've seen a lot of writers asking, do I include things like wearing masks and stuff like that because I'm writing something that happened in real life? Um, do I include what's happening right now? Um, and some people are, and some people aren't. Not a fan of world building. Yeah, it's a lot of effort, and occasionally I bite off more than I can chew with it. um, it's difficult. It's not an easy task, and I kudos to anybody who builds a world that feels real, um, and can really build up all of these elements, and they think about all these tiny details that really make a world function. It takes an incredible amount of effort. Yeah, I am doing it again next week. No problem, Izzy. We'll be here all the way through the month of October, and then if you plan on doing Nano, I'll be all the way here all the way through NaNoWriMo in November. And if anybody's interested, maybe going forward, I'll just make it a regular thing. Yep, same time, same place, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I wanted to give everybody kind of a chance to kind of, if they couldn't make it right at the beginning, to kind of roll through if they wanted to. But if this is all the time that you have for today, there's no stress on any of this. This is just a place to come and enjoy and be quiet and really write and think um, and to get really into the works that you're working on. But absolutely, we'll see you later, Izzy. Good luck. Let me know if that scene works out for you. You can always catch me on Twitter. Um, but we really, I just kind of like that quiet moment. And sometimes it takes me a while to get into things. I don't know if that's the same thing for you, Devin. Um, it takes me a minute to get into those scenes and really dig in. Um, but that's kind of what happens for me. Uh, but I didn't know if you were leaving or not, Devin. But I'll post up another prompt for anybody who might be coming in to join us, and anybody who has joined us. If you're here, we're just kind of doing writing sprints and going through and trying to get some ideas on a page. If you're participating in Nano, it's a good time to do a lot of your prep work, a nice quiet time with some music in the background. I am still working on the project, and I got into a little bit of a. I did forget to give my 5 minute warning. I got really into the scene I was writing. Uh, Still here? Okay, cool, Devin. Um, and Perfect. And I got really into the scene that I was writing and did not look at the timer. But I will try to give more of a warning next time, and then we can go from there. So what I'm going to do is I will post up that next prompt, and then I'll get us started, and we'll do another 15-minute round. And I know for anybody who, I think Devin, you were working on something personal, and as far as your own personal project, but I just want to make sure that anybody else, has maybe a prompt to come into, and then I really got into that character that I was writing for, um, and a lot of these little scenes that are coming up are things that really develop her as a person um, later on when the main story begins. And I think it's sometimes important to build up those types of things, especially if you're doing a bigger you know cast of characters, which eventually the story turns into that. Even if you have just urban fantasy, which I feel is still a lot easier than building a world in regular fantasy, because at least urban fantasy, you have the background or the backdrop of our world to go with. Um, so let me get that next prompt up. And oh, thanks. Thank you for the follow. Definitely, definitely I post up every week. I do writers lifts and stuff on Twitter um, and Instagram. I'm a little slack with the Instagram, but I do post up things there, like if I read your book or something like that. And I'll go through and I'll post up about your book when I read it, and I actually do give reviews after I'm done reading. So if you actually leave me a link to your novel on the Twitter page, I'll check it out. And I do a lot of writers lifts and stuff like that too. Um, just trying to, I'm kind of the opinion that, as writers and authors, we just kind of support each other. I'm not a big fan of the, oh, this is the competition. We should be, supporting each other. But that's me personally, and so I really like to see other people succeed as well. But definitely drop it on my Twitter page if you have a link to your book, and I'll check it out. Um, I don't know, and if you don't mind, put in the chat how you found me, as far as like how you found the live stream, or if somebody recommended it to you, or did you see it on Instagram, or did you see it on Twitter, or just kind of where you saw it, and so that way I know where some of my viewership is coming from. Um, Twitter can be sometimes, I think, hit or miss with people actually seeing the post, so I want to make sure that's getting out there. Um, and then with that, I'll give you a second to do that, and then I'll go ahead and get us some time back up here. And if you're still enjoying the music, I will leave it up. I like it personally. So let me grab our clock here. And let's do, I think I ended up with maybe how many did I get? I think it might be about 75 words. I was a little bit slow on that one. But I had a lot of speaking lines for that. Let's see here. But I've got 15 minutes. Perfect. And I'll make sure I'll follow you on there as well. I'll just do it right now so I do not forget. Okay, I've got you followed on Twitter, and let me pull up Instagram real quick. Excuse me. All right, I've got you followed on both of those now, um, so that way we can keep each other in touch there. Um, and if you have anybody that you know that might be interested in doing something like this, uh, definitely send them my way, and the more the merrier, and the more people who are encouraged to continue their craft. Um, I'm absolutely happy to have them join the live stream with us. And okay, so I've got the timer set. I did put up the prompt. So we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do a writing sprint. We're gonna go for 15 more minutes, and maybe we'll do some smaller ones and just kind of really, see what we can dig into there as well. Um, gotcha. Okay, good, good. So you found me through YouTube. Okay. Thank you for putting that up for me as well. I wasn't sure how much coverage that the live stream was getting on YouTube, so that helps out immensely to know that it is actually coming up with the other live streams, um, for the daily playlist as well. Uh, I want to make sure that people can actually see me and I'm visible, at least when people are looking for these types of things. Thank you for putting that up there, Devin. And then, okay, I've got 15 minutes on the clock, and we're going to go ahead and start now. And I'll put our music up as well. about 3 minutes left. All right. That was the end of our 15-minute word sprint. And what I'm going to do, since my phone is apparently in need of a charge, go grab my phone cord really quickly, and then we'll come back and do maybe a series of shorter ones to finish out the stream. If you're still with us, maybe it's a good time to grab a cup of water. Or if you're like me, I'll be doing tea. I'm an Earl Grey tea fan. So we're going to break for about a minute and a half, and I will be right back. So, but if you're still working or finishing up on a scene, finish that up, follow through with that thought, and then we'll come back and take a nice deep breath, and then we'll move forward with our projects. Give me just one moment. anyone else join us. Nicole, can you hear me all right? Welcome, welcome. It looks like, Nicole, do you live stream as well? What kind of stream do you have? I'm glad to see someone else coming in. To kind of give a small introduction uh, to the stream. Um, Basically, I created the streams for people who were interested in just having a quiet time to sit down and write. Um, we do a series of writing sprints. So, sometime I'll post a prompt up if you want to use that prompt. It's absolutely there for you to use. If you decide that you don't want to use the prompt, that's okay. That's all right. Just welcoming you to the stream, and it looks like you do a live stream as well. Um, what kind of live stream do you do? I basically started this because I just needed that quiet time to sit down and write. And I missed going to the places that I used to go to, um, to write and have that alone time, but also be with people at the same time. And I really wanted to connect with other writers. Our writers group hasn't been able to meet either in, almost 2 years at this point. And I really missed that sort of camaraderie that came with writing. You do writing sprints as well. Very nice. Very nice. I always like to see somebody else who enjoys writing sprints. Sometimes it's the only way I get anything done. Is just to sit down and sprint through it. And sometimes it takes me a minute to think about it. Um, that's okay. Are you thinking about doing Nano this year? Some people are and some people aren't. Um, it's almost been about a 50-50 split. Now you're making me hungry, Devin. I have not had dinner yet. uh, that sounds delicious though. My mom's meatloaf is the one that I miss the best. I've tried it at restaurants and I just can't it can't compare to mom's meatloaf. um, but if I had really enjoyed meeting with other writers and things like that, and so I was hoping this might be a way for other people to come in and write, casually and enjoy themselves and do some writing sprints and things like that. What types of things do you write or have you published, Nicole? Either way, it's fine. I'm just merely curious. And for those of you who may hear background noise, I do have a dog with me. She's normally very quiet. Every now and then you might hear her move. She's down here and super sweet. There's you could probably see a little bit of a picture of her in the background. Uh, but she's usually here with me. She's very good and very quiet even when I work at home for the most part. Uh, but you may see her in the background come through at some point, or she may jump in my lap, and you know, I'm too much of a sucker for my dog not to let her sit in my lap on an occasion. Egg sandwich is good. I like a good egg salad sandwich. Um, I can't eat as much bread as I used to, but has to be gluten-free stuff. But I miss like a plain like white bread sandwich, the egg salad sandwich. Yeah. I mean, some people like the fried egg too. I don't like the fried egg as much. I like the egg salad. I definitely like the egg salad, but definitely post up in the chat, what you like to write. If you're here for some sprints, we're gonna finish up the stream. We have about 30 minutes left on the stream, and we'll do a couple of shorter sprints. We'll do one more long sprint, and then we'll do a couple of shorter sprints just to kind of wind us down a little bit. Um, and I hope everyone enjoys it and just kind of enjoys the quiet time to write. Um, and we're always an encouraging group here, so we want to encourage everyone. Writing for fun. That's the best way to do it, is just to write for fun, um, and really be passionate about what you're doing. Um, I I've kind of felt that way as well. But I that's a trilogy is difficult. That's a pretty good goal. That's a meaty goal, especially if you know where you're. Have you done any outlining or anything like that? Gonna do your outline for 10 tips for writing your first book. That's a good, yeah, that's a good one too. You're gonna make a. Are you gonna do a video on it later? And I think that's good to have those types of things. You can do a video. If you um if you find me on the Twitter page, my Twitter page looks just like this too. Definitely link me. And I always do like promotions, like Caffeinated Covers is one of my good friends, and they do a lot of great book reviews and stuff like that too. Um, and if you find me on Twitter and Instagram, things like that, I will definitely take a look at your stuff. Just drop it in on my Twitter page anytime. And I'm always a really big supporter. I do a lot of writers lists and things like that, so I always want to support my writing community. Um, I'm really into doing that and encouraging others. Yeah, the outlines help out a lot. I tend to be a bit of a pantser, uh, which has gotten me into trouble with some of my books when I realize how big I make my goals, and then I lack a solid plan to get there, which is kind of how what I ended up happening last year for Nano. Um, so, uh, but I'm trying to rectify that issue this year for Nano and really focus. Thank you, Devin, for posting that up. Um, and but definitely drop it into and tag me, and I'll absolutely take a look at the page and get everybody followed and everything. Um, I like to make, the more connections that we have, it makes us stronger as writers. And that's just my personal opinion. But I feel like it makes us stronger, and everybody needs a little bit of encouragement at times, even me. And making videos is hard too, and live streaming is sometimes very difficult. Uh, Matter of fact, I had a problem with the software earlier this week, and it did not want to produce the URL at all to the live stream. So I got the link out late and everything. It just did not want to do. So it's a work in progress and everything. But if you can think of anything that helps, or you want to see in the live stream, or you think more structure would help, I tried to want to keep it a little bit looser, so that way people could do kind of what they wanted and come and go as they wanted to. But if that's not more your style, that's okay. If you think it needs more structure, I'm always open to feedback too. So just definitely let me know if that's something you think it needs. And obviously, we're kind of doing the Halloween thing right now, but it'll change back up for November, and then we'll get into NaNoWriMo. I'll still be doing the streams every week through November. And if everybody's interested, further on into December, and then go from there. I just really wanted to, make connections with people and enjoy writing with other people again. Um, but definitely, absolutely put that tag me on that Twitter and and link that to me, and I'll take a look at it as soon as we're done with the live stream. And now that we I've got a chance to meet you, Nikki, I'm glad that you got a chance to stop by. I'll go ahead and I'll put up the prompt in case anyone else joins us. And if they do, they can use that prompt. If not, um, you know, they may be able to do something else if they want to do work. If you want to work on anything else, please do. The prompt is strictly for anybody who wants to come in or anybody who wants to come in and use it, or if maybe you like it, you can use it too. Let's see. So here's the prompt, and these are all randomly generated. I don't do anything with them. I just randomly generate them. Feel free to change anything if you're joining us. Um, and then we'll go ahead and get started with another little writing sprint. I think we'll do 15 minutes, and then that'll put us at a 10-minute sprint or two 5-minute sprints at the end. And I'll start up our music as well. So let me go ahead and get our timer up. And I've got set up for 15 minutes. And we're going to start that right now. We have about 1 minute left. All right. That was the end of our last 15-minute sprint for today. Go ahead and bring yourself back out of whatever scene you were working on, whatever project you were working on, and just kind of bring it in. Um, and now that I can look at the chat, I can see Nicole replied. Thank you so much for the sub, and I will go through and find you as well and sub as well, so that way I can get your live streams and your video updates as well. Um, Thank you so much for that. We can really connect, and if anybody comes up and I know you have a live stream coming up, I'll absolutely post it up where people can find it through my page. And yeah, um, I, I had to basically make myself into an outliner, and then I realized I needed to go really in depth with my outlining because I tended to stray a little bit more and miss out on making my internal conflict, really clash against my external conflict. Um, and so that was kind of why I started outlining a little bit more and fleshing things out a little bit more. As tedious as sometimes it gets at times, I think I enjoy it a little bit better when I see it all come together. Um, so I think that's a lot of fun for me. Absolutely. We're absolutely here to, support anybody who enjoys working with this sort of craft or anything creative in general. Like if you wanted to spend the time painting, uh, and you just wanted to be with people while you did it, that would be totally fine too. But absolutely, I enjoy promoting other creators and making sure that they're heard too. That's a lot of fun for me, and you'll have to let me know. I always need feedback, so if you enjoyed this, please let me know. Or if you think there's improvements that could be made or things that you would like to see, I'm always open to changing things or learning about kind of what people would like to see on stuff like this, because I think that only makes me better at letting people have a place for them to come write. So I really want to do that. And really enjoy the time with everybody. And if I know we had music playing this time, maybe I'll change up the music next time if nobody likes the music, or if that's something different. If it was too loud, just let me know. Um, I didn't do music on my first one. This is the second live stream I've ever done, so I didn't do music on my first one because I wasn't quite sure how my audio was going to work properly. I was having a little bit of issues that when I started up that day. But I think it worked fine this way. But you'll have to let me know as someone who's actually watching the stream from the other end, and definitely give me that feedback if you have a moment and you feel inclined to do so. That would be wonderful. Um, but otherwise, we have about 7 minutes left in the stream, um, and what I would like to do is, I'm sorry, my dog decided she wanted to play with the cat. Um, but we have about 7 minutes left, so I'm actually going to do like a very short little a little writing sprint, and then we'll close out. If you guys want to do that, and then we'll close out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better. I was a little bit nervous. It's I'm a little bit shy on camera sometimes, but I really wanted to make everyone feel welcome. Thank you so much for that. And if there's anything feedback wise or anything that you can think I can improve on, please let me know. I would love to hear any sort of feedback you've got. Um, but we've got about 5 minutes left now, so I'm going to actually do about let's do a 2 minute word sprint and see if we can close it out, and then we'll close out everything. Get our clock back up here. It is a dash, but that's all right. um, let's go ahead and get it up on the clock here, and we're going to start now. And I'll get our music back up as well. And there was our writing dash. It definitely, you were right, Devin. It was definitely a little bit of a dash, but sometimes it's a little fun. Uh, I hope everyone found today's stream, enjoyable and very calming, and just somewhere where they could come and sit down and be creative and really relax and think about their writing, or maybe get a few things uh, done on their project. Uh, I did some background work on my characters, and got really into writing my main character's story a little bit before the real story picks up. Um, yes, absolutely a dash. Um, we but I really wanted to dig into her story a little bit, and just kind of figure out where she came from, so that way I could really bolster where she was going. I knew the direction I wanted to take her, but I felt like she needed that time to really expand and solidify who she was, and so she had room to grow. And But I really enjoyed digging in a little bit like that. um, If you found this or you enjoyed it, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you know of anybody else who might enjoy it or who just needs that time uh, to really you didn't get any words done. That's okay. Dinner is important too. Uh, dinner is absolutely important. No words come out without good fuel. um, yeah, hopefully it was the egg sandwich. Hopefully it was delicious. I'm about to go eat dinner myself. We're having stew tonight. But I had this. My first, yes, a little bit. I've written a full manuscript before, but it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. I finished the manuscript and worked on the second book, and then I went to law school. And I came out of law school and really wanted to get back into the passion that I had for writing that wasn't law related as well. Um, so I got into that and came back with a new story and learned a lot from my previous story. I learned a lot about plot and structure and really building it up. I was a creative writing minor and political science major in undergrad too. Uh, it's the first one for you too. It's an interesting journey. It is an interesting journey. I really I love building that world and really building everything up and seeing where the characters go. It always amazes me how much of a journey I feel between where my characters start and where they end, even in the first book. Once you've hit that climax and you've come back down to your resolution, it just amazes me um, about how far my character will go. And then even further into second and third book, which I'm hoping to do with this urban fantasy series. It's centered around kind of mediums and the supernatural and the paranormal. Um, law student for one semester. It is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. It is very difficult. Um, it is very difficult. I graduated and um, I took the bar exam, got my results back, missed it by just a couple of points, and it's a 6 months wait. So to do it again. So it's one of those things where you just take some practice, and eventually the career things will fall into place. But I couldn't put some of my bigger passions on hold either. But law school is not for everyone, and people ask me, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Unless you were really, really passionate about law and uh, and you were very focused on that, I absolutely would not necessarily encourage people to go. Not that I regret my education at all. I was very lucky in that, and I'm using it in different ways. And I focus more on the writing aspect of law in my current work. Um, but it's difficult. It's not an easy thing to pass. And even if you're good at it, it's a difficult career to stay in. Sometimes it can burn you out very easily, which is another reason I felt like the stream might help. People make connections, and I missed being connected with the more creative side of things. Um, but I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it, and we will be streaming again um, from every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll start up, and then I will kind of do some writing sprints. But if there's other things that you guys would like to see, or you have an idea that you want to do, maybe a longer stream, or you want to do a shorter stream, or some smaller streams, definitely let me know. Um, and we can work in those ideas. I'm always open to hearing what other people have for ideas for these types of things, because ultimately these are things for everybody to enjoy, and I think that everybody's input is important. And I would really like to hear or see everybody's ideas incorporated if they have them, and we're able to do them. But I greatly appreciate you guys coming. Um, Enjoy your dinners, the rest of your dinners. And we'll see you guys hopefully next week. And I will get you subscribed, Nicole. And if you definitely just tweet me, catch me on Twitter as well, and we'll get connected there as well. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful week and have a good week. Okay, bye.